It's here. It's finally here. So as the title suggests, and as we can see here in Modern Warfare 3, the official announcement for Black Ops 6 has finally been confirmed. All the Black Ops 5 news, all the Black Ops Gulf War news, Treyarch put it all to rest and they said it is Black Ops 6, here you go. I don't quite know how I'm going to structure this video because I did want to play some X-Defiant and record a video on that, but considering that X-Defiant for me is more just like a basic grind and there's not too much to talk about on the game outside of it being good, I think I'm just going to try to live com this like last video, talk about how I'm feeling about this Black Ops 6 reveal and all the other things that have been coming out, and just go from there. I do just want to give a fat shout out to everybody again for supporting my channel, and just the numbers that I've seen again in this last week have been like astronomical for me. I know it sounds like I'm glazing all the homies out there supporting, but seriously, thank you guys so much. This is insane. Hopping right into this, obviously, as everyone has seen throughout Twitter and on Charlie Intel and just even Call of Duty's posted some stuff, there has been a ton of stuff just coming out about Black Ops 6. It's all basically geared towards the marketing for it, but I graduated with graphic design associates. I'm going to finish my bachelor's in the fall. This is what I live for, seeing creative advertisements for these games, and honestly, Treyarch is one of the best at it. I remember back in Cold War, they wound up sending out those projectors where people were trying to basically figure out the trailer or figure out reveal information using the projectors. This year, there's a similar case where Treyarch wound up sending out care packages with top secret information, blacked out files, and like what looks like a walkie-talkie or like a camcorder to try to get different pieces of the information to be filled out. Overall, it looks insane. There's also been a ton of stuff going around New York City and honestly the rest of the world as well in front of these popular monuments, all showing the Truth Lies poster with the Mount Rushmore that's covered up and all graffitied over. Like, it's a lot of quote-unquote like destructive design and destructive announcements, but dude, it is looking so cool. I know there's some mixed opinions on creatively marketing COD because a lot of people, you know, like the idea that it looks cool, but at the same time, like, we all know that it's just going to be another Call of Duty, and I completely understand that. I kind of have a similar opinion, but it's so hard for me to not get obsessed and captivated by cool announcements and just cool advertisements for a game series that I love. I personally love how Treyarch always makes it feel like you're in this top secret, you know, world. You're seeing stuff that you shouldn't be seeing. It's like kind of worrying, but at the same time really cool. And I think the way that they've done it this year with putting all this stuff around New York City, plastering posters everywhere, they have a van that's been spray painted to look like the local news channel that they're advertising as part of this, you know, like the Truth Lies and all this stuff. Like, it looks so cool. So I'm sure over the next couple of weeks we're gonna have a lot more information coming out alongside of that reveal thing that's supposed to be happening at the Xbox event. So I'll definitely look forward to that. I don't know if I'm gonna have a reaction up over it, but definitely some cool stuff to check out there. All this stuff happens so fast that it's hard for me to keep track of all of it. Like, if I made this video like a couple hours earlier, so I'd miss out on some information. If I made it yesterday, I definitely would have missed out on some information. So there's just a ton of stuff coming out, but I love how it's happening, and I love that Treyarch just dropped it all in the urban world and people are finding it and putting it around social media, especially with that cool website that they dropped where you can basically watch all these clips and stuff through the website, flickering through TVs. I think they did something similar in Cold War as well. It's super cool. But with all the speculation out of the way through what we have been teased so far, the facts that we know are pretty slim, but there are a few things that stood out just based on past interviews, I believe, and some Charlie Intel tweets and stuff like that. Regarding the campaign, we know that Raven Software will be developing the campaign, and we also know that it's going to be the first quote-unquote open world campaign. Now, that word sounds cool, but it's also a little bit scary because they tried to do something like that in Modern Warfare 3, this current campaign, and it was an absolute disaster. It's basically Warzone with a light mission objective and a light I guess like breach point that you had to do to wind up completing the mission. Now, an entire campaign like that sounds really bad, especially because Treyarch usually excels in these cool elaborate campaigns where it's like a psychological thriller and you start to unmask stuff about your character and other characters. Treyarch does a really good job at that campaign style. However, I don't know if you can have that same kind of linear storytelling if it's going to be all open world, if you can choose missions at different times and all that stuff. Granted, the only other one that kind of did something similar similar to this that not a lot of people played was actually Infinite Warfare. Infinite Warfare had a space terminal basically where you could go around and choose different missions to do. And I don't remember it completely if there were side missions or there was a linear storyline, but if it's something along that line, it might be really good. With that being said, the actual rollout of the campaign, we'll have to see how that winds up going. I'm really hoping for the best, but we do know that the game was hinted at being Gulf War, and a lot of people were speculating that it was going to be called Call of Duty Black Ops Gulf War, kind of like Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. With that being said, I do believe that it's still taking place on or around the time of the Gulf War, which was 1991 to 1992, I believe. But at the same time, we saw in the background of one of those teasers that Treyarch wound up putting out that the date of 9/11 is present in those graphics. And considering this campaign has a lot to do with what seems like conspiracy theories and government cover-ups, there's a large chance that we might see a mission that is themed around 9/11. However, I don't believe it's going to be the towers. I don't think Treyarch would get that risky, nor I don't know how they would actually make your character hijack one of the planes. My guess is they're probably going to have some way around it where they're going to talk about, I think it was Flight 43, which was the plane during 9/11 that got hijacked but then also shot down. At least that's what Twitter comments were saying, and it makes a little more sense. I doubt that they're actually going to be doing the main catastrophe that was hitting the Twin Towers. However, who knows? Treyarch always does this thing where there's a little bit of information and a little bit of psychological thriller added to the campaigns of just unknown facts that, you know, the average person would never know. It's Black Ops information. So I'm really excited to see how that campaign rolls out. I personally think Treyarch has the best campaigns out of all of them. Like, I just love Treyarch's campaigns. Now, when it comes to multiplayer, that's when it starts to get a little interesting, because as Jev mentioned in his newest video, there was an interview I think conducted a while back where they talked about a new type of movement system. I think it was omnidirectional movement or something like that. The last time that was brought up was actually back in Advanced Warfare during that advanced movement era with Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, all of those games. Now, by definition, it basically means like you can move to the full extent of your body. So if you move technically the bottom half and the top half separately, that's what it's kind of implying, which Call of Duty has never been like that. It's always been, if you're looking somewhere, you're going to run that way. So my guess is Jev was theorizing that when you dolphin dive, you can actually wind up looking different ways, or maybe shooting while you're dolphin diving, or you can slide in different directions, which is definitely a possibility. However, we kind of already have that with Modern Warfare 3. So I think what they're probably going to do to be that omnidirectional movement is they might actually introduce a dash mechanic, kind of like Advanced Warfare, but on the ground. So say by chance in Advanced Warfare you would boost up in the air and then shoot left or right or backwards and forward. I think in this game you might be able to like boost left or like jump left quickly as if you were dodging a bullet to maybe break open a barricade, or just to dodge in the middle of the gunfight, and that'll have a recharge rate just like everything else. I think that'll add a large skill gap to the game, and you'll definitely have to react faster, because if you're in a gunfight and someone boosts left or dodges left and you're maybe moving right or your recoil is moving up, like, you're going to lose that gunfight. But overall, we won't know any of that until a gameplay trailer rolls around. Most likely they'll show us in the gameplay trailer what's happening. But yeah, I mean, with all that being said, the amount of Black Ops 6 content coming out and all the teasers and trailers has just been absolutely insane. Black Ops 6 is everywhere. The hype is everywhere, and I'm super excited for it. I've loved every Treyarch title. I mean, there were some that were still not my favorite, or I didn't play as much of it, but thematically I loved them. The campaign was always a fun playthrough, and overall I look back very fondly on pretty much every Treyarch title, so I'm super excited for another one. With that being said, I could talk about Black Ops 6 conspiracies for like the entire video, but other than that, I'm trying to keep my my opinions on the topic short and just kind of only talk about what really came out. The only other gaming news I have is stuff about X-Defiant and Multiverses. I wound up seeing the Jason gameplay trailer, and he looks perfect. He literally looks exactly like what I want to play in that game, which is somebody that's slow and doesn't rely too much on movement, because I'm not a good movement platform player at all. The best fighting games that I'm good at are probably Mortal Kombat, which is very little actual movement based. So hopefully Jason adheres to that and makes it a little bit easier for me. There is some X-Defiant stuff that I want to talk about, but I'll probably save that for my next video when I actually play some X-Defiant. I just kind of wanted to give a quick little recap on all the Black Ops 6 news that's been coming out, and hopefully there won't be too much more coming out, because I always feel like I get FOMO that I have to talk about it, and I have to let everyone know that I know that Black Ops 6 and other information's coming out. But we'll see what happens as the week goes on. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of stuff that comes out. But yeah, other than that, guys, again, thank you so much for all the support. Hopefully Black Ops 6 will be as promising as Modern Warfare 3 was for me. I still think Modern Warfare 3 has been my favorite Call of Duty out of the new gen CODs. Maybe not as much as Cold War, but to be fair, Cold War was drip-fed content for a while, so I don't know. Either way, again, thank you guys so much for all the support. Hopefully you guys are excited about Black Ops 6. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.